Hi, my name's Danielle. I'd just like to share with you a project that I've been doing with our thick die cutting dies and our Easy Press die cutting machine. So let's go and have a look. Here's the card that I'm going to demonstrate to you today. This is using our thick paper dies and our thick paper, which is 366 GSM, so it can't be used with our punches or with our standard paper dies, but for our thick paper dies it works really well. We can make some lovely thick embellishments to give those cards and projects a real pop. First of all, we're going to cut out our flowers. If you have any questions about any of the techniques and dies and pad combinations that I'm using, you can refer to some of my other videos that I'm putting up over the next little while. Okay, so this is our flower number 25. This is one of the pieces of it, so I'm going to put that onto there. I've cut a piece of paper ready to go. I always put my die in the middle, it just makes it cut better. So this is the other part of our number 25 die, which is a little sort of thin flower. I'm cutting all of these out with our white thick paper, with white thick cardstock, which is the 366 GSM. Okay, now keep all of your little negative images because they're really great for using any sponging, or you can trim around them and use them as a reverse negative image on a card or a scrapbooking page. It just gives another way to use your dies, because I never throw anything away. And it's really easy to use, this machine. It's just fantastic. Okay, so then there's our little flower. Now I will pop this one off with our paper piercer. Because the spiral is so intricate, you just need to really ease it off. Okay, so I've got our two pieces out of our die just using my paper piercer. You just have to be really careful that you don't tear it when you're taking it out. So that one gives you the two lovely pieces like that. Wind this through. So again, this one I use with my paper piercer to get all the pieces out. Paper piercer is a wonderful tool. Cleaning out your die, so this little one here, you just pop that out. It's nice and clean. Putting your brads in, it's fantastic. Okay, now the last one we're going to do is for our greeting up the top here. This is from one of our tags. Now when you're cutting a long die, it's always good to put it lengthways on your mat. If you put it this way, the rollers roll over it really quickly and it doesn't tend to cut as well. So if possible, use it this way. Then you're going to need your rubber mat and your embossing pad B. I'll turn this over here and peel this off. Because it does have a thick blade, it will stick into your mat a little bit more, but that's perfectly normal. Now when you use a 2-in-1 cut emboss die, because it is a cutting die, make sure that your cutting edge goes into your embossing pad. If you put that cutting edge up, it will cut into your mat, and that embossing mat isn't to be cut into. So make sure you put it down into the rubber, and it can go into the rubber. That's perfectly fine. Okay, put our embossing pad B on top and roll on through. Okay, so there we go. It's embossed part of it. You won't see it at the moment. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop this out. And if you want, you can keep that image. You might be able to see it on the camera, I'm not sure. It has embossed that part of the edge as well, so you can keep that and use that as a frame. which is really nice around a word. Trim it up. You can trim this thick paper with your trimmer as well. It goes through your trimmer fine. Okay, once you've cut all your pieces, it's time to emboss. To emboss, this is the pieces that you can see that have the darker image on them. It looks like it's stamped. It's actually raised up because of the embossing and then when I've inked the flowers. So to do that, we're going to use our base pad A. And I find because with the thick paper that we're using, the thick paper, we need to have a shim, which is just a regular piece of A4 paper. Our rubber mat. And there's all the dies that we're going to use. And here's our Miss You die. I'm just going to position that over the top so that all of the bits get something on them. And our embossing pad B goes on top. Okay, we take that off. Don't know if you can see that on, but you can see the embossed images. So that's ready to be inked up now. Okay, so now we're ready to ink our flowers. So the purple that I'm using is the Dusty Concord Distress Ink and our blending tool. So with these, I found to get a more deeper colour, if I rubbed it like you would normally for a distress ink, it wasn't dark enough for me. So I found that tapping it worked much better. And you'll start to see that where the images were embossed, the ink is holding it just that little bit darker. And you can keep going as much as you like. So you can make it as dark or as light as you like. It's entirely up to you. And then our pink is our worn lipstick. So we're going to do that exactly the same way. Okay, so there are our flowers done. We'll just move them to the side. Okay, next we're going to do a base card. So we get a piece of white A5 card. Fold it in half, use a bone scorer. Now we're going to create this background using our distress inks. We'll start with our peeled paint. Now when you're doing a blending technique, you need to make sure that you start off the page and then in circular motions move on to your page. If you were to start on your page, you would get a square line because your ink blending tool is square, like so. I start on my page and then I'm going to try and blend it off, and that square line is going to stay there no matter what I do. It is something that takes a little bit of practice. So, like anything, practice makes perfect. So practice away, and the more you do it, the easier it will become. And you always start off a little bit lighter. You can go back and add more colour later on. There's my peeled paint. Move on to my broken china and do this exactly the same way. Okay, so there's our base card, like that. And while I've got our broken china, I'm going to get a 2-in-1 cut and emboss die that we had before. You'll notice I haven't taken it out of my die yet. I'm going to set that on my paper, get my broken china, and I'm going to dabble over it. Now this is going to change the white that you can see to that broken china colour. And because this is a metal die, you can just wipe the excess off with a baby wipe once you've taken your die out. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. It's all blue and inked up. We'll set that aside to dry. Okay, now it's time to put our flowers together. Move some of these bits and pieces. So you need to use your paper piercing tool, and when you're using that to make holes for brads, always use a mat. Don't use your finger because it hurts. Okay, so we're going to layer our flower how we want it. Our purple and our pink little centre. I'm going to pierce my hole through into my mat. I'm going to pick it up and just going to slide it on that little bit. Okay, just going to get one of the aged copper brads, pop that through the hole, like so, and I'm going to flatten it on the back. Okay, and we're going to do that with all of our flowers. The one with the spiral in it is slightly different. We're going to use our Glossy Accents, which is our very versatile glue. Just add a few dots on around the spiral, not too far out, and we're going to stick that purple circle on. Okay, because when we want to put the brad through, we're going to have a spiral in the way, so it won't actually work. So I'll sit that one aside so it dries. Glossy Accents dries really quickly, it doesn't take very long at all. And we'll do there's our flowers completed. On my original card, you can see I actually bent the petals up a little bit to add that 3-dimension. If you're wanting to do that, you just grab your bone scorer and just curl the edges of your flowers. Okay, now it's time to create the rest of our card. I'm going to use, this is from our Springtime Uncut Set stamp, it's the grass stamp, and I'm going to use crushed olive distressing just to create the grass in the bottom of our card. Ink it up and stamp it. Now don't stamp it all at the same height, stamp it at different heights so that it gives that, whoops, that random effect. And if your stamp is bigger than your ink pad, always take your ink pad to your stamp. Much easier. Okay, so there's our grass all done. Then we're going to attach our flowers. So on the bigger flowers I've used some super tape. Okay, a nice little flower down there. Just use some Glossy Accents on that one so that it'll stick on. Okay, now I'm going to do our greeting. So it is still attached in our die. Just going to slowly ease that out. Okay, pop it out with my thumb and it comes apart. And you'll notice, because I left the die attached, it's only inked in the middle, in that raised up section. So it just makes it look even more raised up. Okay. I'm going to get our word, our congratulations word. This is from our Romance mini messages. Ink it up with black soot. Now I'm going to do a test stamp just to make sure I've got it straight. Yes, I do. Because there's nothing worse than when you stamp it and it's not straight. Okay, stamp it on there. And there's my congratulations stamped. Okay, put some glossy, some super tape on the back of that. But those frames are just perfect size for those mini messages. And there's our completed card. Thanks for watching my video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like any more information on the products used, you can visit the Kazaz website at www.kazaz.com. You can contact the friendly staff at Kazaz on 1800 649 191 and they can put you in touch with a local consultant. If you'd like to contact me, you can leave a message on the YouTube video, or you can contact me at my blog www.danielskazaz.blogspot.com, and I can answer your questions, give you any information that you need. Thank you very much.